Greetings everyone, my name is Miguel Merlanda and I'm here to do another presentation for speech class, and today I am here to be talking about the conflicts of interest in regards to the animation industry in our modern day climate. So who here is a fan of animation and or cartoons? I feel like a lot of you guys must be huge fanatics of works from Disney and similar studios like Nickelodeon and or Warner Brothers. I wouldn't be doubtful if a lot of you guys have had dreams of someday working with these big names and on some of their most ambitious projects to be ever conceived. However, there's this misconception that a lot of potential artists often believe that that you need to have a bachelor's degree in the field of arts to even find work in the medium you wish to work under. And while having a degree will help you, what matters to a company more is your skills and abilities. I feel with the following, I can at least be able to express my thoughts and feelings on this subject alone. After reading up some articles from Steven Halberg, an artist who has been teaching animation for a couple of years, I was able to look up a couple concerns in regards to this whole situation, and it's in regard to the fact that for a lot of people, for a lot of companies in general, there's often a huge demand. There's a huge supply and demand ordeal when it comes to studios, as they demand and are looking for the highest quality artists and or professionals that can work for their industry, because they are looking for whoever they can find that can not only do great work but can work in an efficient time. And it's also important that he brings this up because to help find this work in general, you are required to have a demo reel or a portfolio. That way you will be able to attract the eyes of your hirees, which, to quote him, it's all supply and demand with studios, as they would most often want the most professional people working on their projects to not have something that's not only amazing to the viewer's eyes, but won't cost the studio any time or resources because of one artist that's holding back the project. It is also important and another important thing that needs to be mentioned, as he brought it up in this article, is that it is a very cutthroat working environment, and you need the most professional portfolio you can or demo reel, because they're not going to hire you if they see your work as sloppy or mediocre. But if the film and TV industry doesn't work for you, is it possible to work for the gaming industry? It's similar. Well, like I mentioned before with my previous statements, it's kind of the same thing. You are required to do and follow these steps and this is a big issue similar to working for the industry. You are required to move to different parts of the world or state just to work for these companies, and most often than not, they demand that you make these moves because it'll be easier for them to keep track of you, as opposed to you having to be in another part of the world and then just having to constantly spam emails to you on your end. It's what the article writer Dustin Taylor calls an animation gold rush, where the industry is going to be looking for whoever they can just to find the most versatile artist for their work. And in regards to that ordeal, you need to be a jack of all trades with your skills if you wish to survive in this industry. Speaking of which, let us discuss our next point in regards to the subject of your own satisfaction. When it comes to finding work in this industry, you're going to be having a hard time, as for a lot of people, and it's been brought up multiple times, you have to have your work be as professional as possible, but it's also important that you're easy to work with, as well as the fact that you yourself are a good team player. As most often than not, there are some artists and or people who've worked in the industry who are really good at what they do, and they're one of the most difficult people to work with, or some of the most incompetent people you can think of. look up a man by the name of John Cristofalusi when you can on Google after this presentation. However, I recommend this, and it's really important for all artists to know about this. You will be working on certain things on projects that you won't be happy with, i.e. background characters or inanimate objects like cars or automobiles or, heaven forbids, even trees. But just because you have to work on those things that you don't like doesn't mean that you shouldn't put any effort into it. Like, use that as an opportunity to improve your skills as an artist. And it helps to get to my second claim. Do you really need a bachelor's degree to get a job in the animation industry? From what I've been told, not really. Yeah, getting a degree will help, but it doesn't give you like it isn't like the golden ticket to get you work in the industry. Like, you're not going to immediately start working on like a Disney cartoon right after you graduate. Like, that's not how it's going to work. Like, you need to put in as much time and effort, and like, you're going to have to do like freelance work for a lot of companies just so you can be able to find an easier time to get the jobs that you wish to work on. And for a lot of people who work in the industry, and I have been told by this by a couple friends who are working in the industry, not everybody who works on a lot of cartoons and movies today have graduated, or hell, a couple of them dropped out or never even went to college in general. And there's some of the most professional people you can see and there's some of the most professional artists that you'll ever find in this current day climate. And it's important to bring this up because a lot of these artists are either self-taught, have been taught by veterans who have been doing this for almost their entire life now, or in this case scenario, most people will often use Skillshare to receive industry quality instructions without having to break the bank to go to college and end up being trapped years in debt. And finally, and this is something that I want to bring up, a couple works from a couple ex Disney from a couple of ex Disney animators who bring up this discussion as a whole, and it's the first thing to bring up. You need to learn to be the best quality artist that you can be. And one of the things that is brought up by an artist by the name of Chad Stewart, he brings out the fact that, like, yes, it's gonna be fun working in what you dream of working in, like, you know, like CGI or regular or traditional animation, but, and this is a big important but, it's going to be a massive struggle. Like, you are going to have a lot of headaches. Like, you're going to have a lot of headaches. You're going to be stressed out. You're going to be screaming and just, like, wishing to be doing another job opportunity. But, and this is a big thing that he brings up, patience is the most important thing you need for working in this industry. Like, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how difficult it becomes, no matter how much you want to punch the guy that's sitting next to you doing their job, you need to have patience. Like, you need the patience. And this is also important for when you're working with other people, because not only will you have to have this patience with your own work that you're being assigned to, but you also have to do it with other people that you're working with, i.e. like the in-betweeners or the people who do the lip syncing and whatnot. Like, that is an important thing that you need to realize, that you also need to have patience with them when they're doing their part of the job. And trust me, there will be people who you will have to repeat once, twice, 3 times out, even 30 times if possible, just so that they can get a walk cycle as properly as possible. But it is important to have patience, and here's the important thing about it: it'll end up benefiting you in the long run, because you're gonna have people who push you and motivate you to be to be the best you can be with your work. And trust me on this, you will be needing patience for that as well, because you will be working under people who have been doing this for years now, and they will, most often than not, some of them will scream at you for not getting things right on the first go, but you need to have patience with that as well. Like, you need to learn not to let that get under your skin, and you need to have the patience to have, you need the patience to be able to get to what they have, what to fulfill what they are looking for with their work, so that you can make the best quality work and make everybody look as professional as possible. And trust me, that's the most important thing out of everything in this whole presentation. Patience is key. So in conclusion, today I invited you all to the discussion to discuss the importance of finding work in this industry, as well as the multiple pros and cons that will come from all this. However, and this is an important thing to be brought up, it will be difficult, and it will become incredibly demanding at points, and most often than not, it will be demoralizing, especially on the counts that, like, it will get under your skin. But you need to learn but you need to push your limits and push yourself as best as you can. Like, have patience, have confidence in your work, and finally, you don't need to go to college just so you can be able to work in the industry. What matters the most is that you are as professional as you can be with your work, and that is the most important thing that you have to realize. The professionalism in your work. You have to be as easy to work with and easy to listen, and you have to be easy to work with and easy to cooperate with other people, and and trust me, it'll be so beneficial for everybody in this scenario once you do all this. So to conclude, I wish to conclude this statement with the following from a famous animator from the entire industry, Walt Disney. We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things, because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. That's all I have for today. Thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care.